Hello there, welcome to Prequel, Sequel, Requel, the show where we pick a film or a franchise and give it a prequel, a sequel, and a requel with a panel of movie lovers. That's right. And we're going to crack straight on tonight. We're doing the Big Lebowski. Thanks for joining us if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch this evening. Welcome, welcome. You can leave comments, join in with the show, and you'll be voting for your favourite pitches of the evening. But we can't pitch alone, so we're going to meet our lovely panel this evening. First of all is a comedian improviser. It's your friend of mine. He's here every week. It's Eddie French.
Hey everyone. Hello, Chris. You all right?
Hello. Yeah, you?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good. What you been up to?
Well, this afternoon I watched The Big Lebowski, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You enjoy it? Have you seen it before? Obviously.
I've seen it. I've only seen it once, maybe twice, a long time ago. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. No, it's been quite nice. I booked my second jab today, my second vaccination. So when we get back out doing stuff in the live world as well as in the online world, I will not be a danger to anyone.
Cool, very good. Speaking of dangers to anyone, let's meet our next panelist. What can I say about this lady? She's here with us every week. She brightens up the room on a Monday night, let's be honest. It's our old friend, Natalie Smeaton. Don't cut him when I was bigging her up.
That's really actually the nicest intro you've ever given me. Thank you.
Oh, it's you. Sorry. I thought it was somebody else.
So,
did you think I was Hannah Warman? Did you think I was Hannah? You did.
I did. Hannah was back. That's another week, though. Yeah, well, here she is. Sana.
Yeah.
No, I meant it about you, Nat. I meant it about
we thought we might have to get Hannah on instead of you because obviously all of the I mean, we can't talk about the filming you did last week, but are you back in Leeds, or are you now living
in Leeds? This is my bed.
You're now living in Monaco with all of that money, which you have to live there for tax reasons.
Well, I mean, I have to say that I'm back in Leeds, but I'm actually in Los Angeles, obviously. Working on the next project.
They said they'd never make Thor a woman, but
they have.
Then they met you.
Yeah, and they couldn't help themselves. They just couldn't help themselves.
Yeah.
Right. Well, speaking of people with acting experience, actually, it leads us nicely onto our special guest this evening. I mean, what can we say about this guy? He's an old friend of mine from college. He's been on the show twice, I believe. Now he's an old pro at this game. He won the last one he was on. He's been a songwriter, actor. He's done it all, this guy. Here he is. It's Nathan Webb. Here he is.
Hey guys. This is some tenuous links tonight, Lumb. You're just plucking things out of thin air. Like, let's weave that together.
Don't expose his method.
You've got some amazing lighting in your room, Eddie. Is that natural lighting, or have you bought some kind of?
I've got a ring light. And there's some nice light coming in through the windows. So I've got natural and unnatural.
That'll be COVID. That'll be COVID. That ring light.
Yeah. That'll be COVID.
COVID symptom. I had a bit of ring light after I had my first jab.
Oh, did you? I'm on my 7th jab. I just can't stop. I'm addicted. I love the stuff.
You're the only one walks in with the length of rubber pipe around his arm. Just there we go. Oh, there you go. I found your fat one. There you go. Look at that. Oh.
Are you going in different disguises, like one day mustache? No, I have never had the job before.
Yeah, I did think about it, but I know a bloke. I've been like,
I have to keep walking in, just going, I wonder what this experience will be like, never having had it before.
We've got just have a look. We've got our regular viewers. We've got Martin in. Hello, Martin. Did not get the role in Holby City.
I feel like we really need to clear this up. Like
she can buy Holby City now, mate.
Big T Moore's back with us.
Yeah, Big T Moore.
Yeah.
White Russian.
Oh yeah. White Russian. Yeah.
Really tied the room.
Oh,
yeah.
Big T Moore is expressing a great deal of expertise on this. So
but this is a Russian. This is a bit of a Russian. For me, it's a bit of a Russian doll of a movie. The more you watch it, just the more there is to see in it. Yeah, so that's why I picked it. It's one of my favourites.
I was going to say you did pick this film tonight, which is good because we'd never done it before, so that's nice.
No.
Yeah.
And also, it was fun to watch it. So we'll explain briefly, if you're watching and you've never seen the show before, these guys are all going to pitch a prequel, a sequel, and a requel. We'll get a minute to do so. After the pitch, the other people in the room can ask them a question. Try and put them on the spot, fill out their pitch a little bit more, and then you guys online will vote for the winner, and we'll vote in the room as well for our favourite pitch. There'll be 3 rounds to do that in, so there'll be an overall winner of the evening as well. But before we do all that, I'm going to read you the back of the DVD box for The Big Lebowski, just to give you a refresher if you've not seen it in a while, those watching at home. Here we go. Are you ready for this one? It's as vague as always, this one. I might actually tell you the plot of the movie, which will help. The dude, Jeff Lebowski, is unemployed and laid back until, a victim of mistaken identity, 2 thugs break into his apartment in the belief that they are accosting Jeff Lebowski, the Pasadena millionaire. In hope of getting a replacement for his soiled carpet, dude visits his wealthy namesake, and with buddy, ex-NAM veteran Walter, he's swept into a comedy thriller of extortion, embezzlement, sex, and dope. It takes guys as simple as the dude and Walter to make a story this complicated, and they'd really rather be bowling. I mean, don't mention the fact that the guy's daughter gets supposedly kidnapped. The talk comes through the mail, and also just forgets all about Steve Buscemi's character Donnie in that description. So,
what I like is he is unemployed and laid back. What a captivating character he must be.
It's not an easy film to quantify this, really, is it? Because there's just so many little things going on in it. Did they mention the porn guy as well?
Yeah, there's the porn guy, but Julie, David Thewlis was in it.
Yeah. David Thewlis is brilliant in it. Yeah,
Julianne Moore. Yeah, there's so many actors I had no idea were there. I'd forgotten completely.
And I only found out while I was having a look through Wikipedia, because I always like to see what the actors have also been in, because I get engrossed that way. The guy who plays the Big Lebowski played Santa Claus in Santa Claus the movie. Which I was like, wow, really?
He certainly did us, I think is he the same guy from the Muppet movie as well, or am I thinking of a different fluffy white-haired fat Southern gentleman?
No, that's a different guy. That you mean Doc Cooper?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Right then. So let's have a look. Let's see where we're going. We're going to go on to the prequel straight away this evening. Let's not mess about. Let's get our game heads on. Trying that new catchphrase out. Let's get our game heads on.
You've been watching Wurzel Gummidge.
You've
got to put on my game head, Aunt Sally.
Right then. So, Big Lebowski prequels. Here we go. We'll start with you, Eddie.
Okay.
Pitch, please.
So my prequel is called The Many Tales of the Stranger. And this is sort of an anthology film. I considered it like Four Rooms meets The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. So The Stranger walks through the history of white America, looking at people who stand out from it. So we meet a Mayflower pilgrim who is forced to find out why a silo of grain vanished. So his community don't, find out what happened. A woman who accidentally saves some other women destined to be burned in Salem during the witch trials. He also tells the story of a couple, who end up blackmailing a senator to put an end to the prohibition back in the 20s or so. And then finally, he talks about a man who was driven by many different factors, including lunacy, to assassinate a president in 1963. And then he makes a suggestion that one of the more unusual stories is yet to be told, which would be where we meet the dude.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Right then. So, Nathan and Nat, you can ask Eddie a question. Try and put him on the spot.
Ladies first. Beautiful ladies first.
Thank you. Go on, Chris. Oh, sorry.
Pretty girls, pretty girls.
Is there going to be a different director for each section?
Oh,
well, that is an interesting one because I think the Ballad of Buster Scruggs is a Coen Brothers film as well.
I believe so.
If not, it certainly feels like it. If it's not, they need some money off someone. But Four Rooms, of course, was 4 different directors. I think it would be interesting. I'm very torn because I'd like the consistency of one style, but I think they could be told sort of differently. I think you could have sort of someone like Scorsese doing like the 60s one and stuff like that, which would all have a bit of counterculture and stuff going on. I think you'd need someone with slightly more historical chops to do some of the other ones, but it's difficult to say. I would lean more towards just having one consistent story told through it. But
I have like a follow-up question. Is that allowed? Can you check the rule book?
I'm still thinking of my question. Go for it.
Okay,
all right. Your thinking face.
Okay, you put your thinking face on. So have you seen? Thank you, Judge. So have you seen the Cloud Atlas?
I haven't.
So it's absolutely fantastic, a wonderful piece of film making and very good book. So in that, essentially, the characters continue to come back and back, and you can recognize the characters by, even though, so in the film, say Tom Hanks, all the way through, plays different characters, but you always recognize that it's his soul, whether he's a man or a woman. It's still Tom Hanks. So will your dude essentially be the same actor who is prosthetically and CGI-ly changed like they do in the Cloud Atlas? So Halle Berry goes all the way through it, etc. Or is it with different actors as the dude?
It's not going to be so much about the dude. It's going to be about other equally remarkable but notably distinct characters throughout history. The stranger I feel to be a sort of European American sort of spirit passing through that history of that piece of land and gathering those kind of things. So the dude is one of them at the point we meet him, the most recent one, and there have been others, but the way he talks about him, the way he talks about the dude suggested to me that there were other people that he had encountered that were also interesting. So if we made him a more of a timeless sort of
so just in case people are watching and don't realise who the stranger was, Sam Elliott, like
Sam Elliott, yes,
the wise old cowboy, isn't he? That sort
yes.
But if you type in the Big Lebowski into Google, as I did earlier when I was doing a bit of research, you see that one of the questions is the stranger God? There's a theory out there that this guy is actually this perfectly ties in.
It could come off as that, couldn't it?
Even better than God, he's Sam Elliott. So
it's pretty much same thing.
Yeah. He's also the only good bit in the sequel to Ghost Rider, in which he does a cowboy speech over the opening credits, and then it's just appalling. But they tried to put a bit of clout on. But
he's a universally loved actor, this guy, though, isn't he?
He's wonderful.
Have you got a question, Webb?
Well, I on the idea of if it's different people directing the different scenes. Now, with Four Rooms, for me, that movie not every scene works. There's one with Madonna in, isn't there? That's not great. And there's a story that's a precursor to Spy Kids. And then right at the end, you've got the one with the lighter, the flicking of the lighter with Samuel L. Jackson, which is a pretty cool one. I'm just wondering if there's a way of tying it all together with, I don't know, for me, it would be a direction thing. How is this going to get off the ground? Is it going to be connected to? Are all the stories interweaving, or is it just separate occurrences?
No, the only through line is that the stranger has deemed them worthy of note enough to share. That's the connection.
So it's kind of like the stranger is a bit of an observer to these urban myths or urban legends.
He's the sort of the spirit of white America. He sort of carries a big thing like that. So yeah, he carries the history of the white history of the land that he is on, which would include political assassination, schisms within different groups of people. One of the first, the Mayflower Pilgrims, that would be one of the first major crimes to take place in a white settlement in the United States, etc. So people that are remarkable, things that are remarkable, are what he carries through.
Right. Well,
sort of
I'm not sure if it's a question, but I really like the idea of it.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's open-ended.
Yeah,
it could be an interesting. You should make it. You should make it. Give Sam Elliott a call.
Let's hear more than one suggestion.
Yeah.
And we'll
I'm in. No, that's it. I'm in.
We might only have time for one if we don't. Right, quick alert, Bob, who's joined in.
Hi, Bob.
He's got a nice picture.
I mean, he's literally blanked us, so that's nice.
Nothing to say. Nothing.
Big T Moore's just said this. Well, not usually into cancel culture with Nat's statement about Cloud Atlas. I can't look at her right now.
You pulled a face when she said Cloud Atlas was really good.
That's for a reason. We had the
that day we were slagging that film off.
Right.
Have you read David Mitchell's book?
I tried. It made me feel really stupid, so I stopped reading it and put it down. I couldn't understand it.
Oh, could you? Oh, sorry.
I'm jealous of your massive brain at this point now. I really couldn't understand it.
I loved it. And then there's a follow-up, Slade House, which is really, really good as well.
Oh, I've read the follow-up. That's why I didn't understand
it. Slade House. Wasn't that a sketch from the Harry Enfield show? Or no, Vic and Bob, wasn't it? Slade on Holiday.
Oh yeah, they all lived in a house together.
Yeah. I imagine if the sequel was Slade living in a house together. Sorry, carry on.
It's all right. Right, Nat, it's your turn, please, for your prequel to the Big Lebowski.
All right, here we go. So, the rug emerged brand new from a textile warehouse in 1961, ready to decorate someone's floor and be the missing piece of their decor that really pulled the room together. Its first home was a nice place, but its colours didn't match the curtains, so it was passed on as a wedding present to a young couple. Trouble is, the young couple didn't believe in rugs because they thought they were a capitalist construction of the man. So they stuck it in their loft where, after many years and moths and attic ghosts, it was donated to a charity shop. An old lady took a real shine to it and bought it for her neighbour, the dude, to say thank you for him never missing her poetry performances and giving her his honest feedback. The dude laid the rug down, stepped back and thought, this really pulls the room together, and kept the rug forever until he got pissed on, obviously. Yeah. That's my prequel.
Okay, cool. Nice. Ties in, right. So
echoing Big T Moore, I'm not usually into cancel culture, but I think we should cancel Nat at every available opportunity.
Just give me out.
Times.
Just cancel it.
Question, Eddie on Nath.
It's a delightful idea. I'm really glad I didn't write the rug. Not that my prequel is any good at all, but I nearly went for a rug-based story. Mine was going to start in Cambodia with a family that made the rug and got some blood on it. Now I realise it's a much better idea than my other idea. However,
you've done it. Stop putting yourself down. Just get on with your fucking question.
All right.
Well, the way I would have written the rug story is very much.
I'm just wondering if. Are you just going to see? Are we going to see, like Eddie's story? They're going to be Are we going to follow this rug around? I know you've given a couple. Have you got any more ideas for where the rug could be?
Rug around.
Yeah, so I think that when it ends up in the attic, every now and then, if they're having like a garage sale, it gets dragged outside. Nobody buys the rug. They can't get rid of it. They try to leave it in various places, but friendly neighbours always go, "Oh, you left your rug," and bring it back. Or it turns up on the porch.
Is there like a harrowing scene where they beat it clean, but it just looks like the Passion of the Christ?
Slow motion.
Just screaming in Aramaic.
It always ends up back on their porch. And then they leave it on the porch, hoping it'll rot, and it doesn't. And we sort of see how this family, who ended up with this rug they didn't want because it's a capitalist construction of the man. We kind of see them grow up and their children grow up with this rug before it's donated to a charity shop.
Is it about if you offer something with love, then it's more likely to stick than if you discard something with hate?
Well, it is now.
Well, there you go. I've just given you a theme. Much like the Big Lebowski itself. I think that's the theme of the Big Lebowski.
Yeah, because he goes to his friend. What I loved about the film is he went to his friend's dance performance, and very sincerely was like, "Yeah, I'll be there," and then was watching it very sincerely. And I just imagine that the dude does that for lots of his neighbours. Like,
yeah, you're right.
I liked that touch. I think that's a really nice touch.
Yeah, because you're right. In another film, it'd probably be like, "Yeah, of course I'll come." He's like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't think of an instance in my life where I've asked a friend if they'd like to come and see something that I'm performing in and that they never showed up to.
And
I don't think any performer can say that.
Yeah.
And what's really lovely is that, like, how nervous his landlord, because it's clearly his landlord, how nervous he is to ask him, because he respects his opinion so much. So I just thought, how lovely would it be that the rug eventually had made its way to him and he really liked it, and it genuinely did pull his room together through an act of generosity, because he really likes this lady's poetry and went to her performances, whether they were shit or not.
I think it's kind of nice as well that he didn't realise how empty his life was until this random rug showed up that nobody else wanted. The rug was destined for him. I think that's cool, the destiny of it.
Yeah, yeah.
All intentional.
About when one finds one's place, it was as if one had been there all along.
All along.
Lying on the floor. Very good.
But was it also destined to get pissed on then?
Yeah, see, this is why it's so upsetting when he gets pissed on and he has to replace it, because
you're adding layers to the story now, which is all we ask for. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Also, having seen the dude's lifestyle, I'm not 100% certain that's the first piss that it's ever gotten onto that rug.
Just the first one he's noticed.
Yeah, first one he's been awake for or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Just think a bit more piss is probably not going to hurt.
And that piss was done disrespectfully. Like piss that's got on there before has been an accident or drunk piss. But that was a disrespectful piss on his rug.
That was a stone cold. That was a malicious, stone cold sober piss.
Yes, it was.
Right. Yeah. Okay. You've had your questions, then, haven't you? Right.
I have. Thank you.
Okay, Nath, it's your turn for your prequel.
Oh, okay. Here we go. My prequel hasn't got a title. I've just decided it's animated so that we can have the original voice, the original people that are in it, still doing the voices, rather than staring at a bunch of old men that don't look like they're in a prequel to something. Anyway, animated. Jeffrey Lebowski has been kicked off the bowling team. The team got sick and tired of his lackadaisical attitude to bowling and life in general. The dude thinks they're all taking it too seriously and ruining his flow with their negative energy. The dude takes the firing from the team with his usual zen attitude to life and refuses to be led down a path of resentment towards his ex-teammates. He tells them that the lack of effort he has put into the league is just like their opinion, man. That same day, he arrives at the apartment he shares with his girlfriend to find his stuff, an old cardigan, an electric margarita maker, a box full of cassette tapes, and his rug have been placed in garbage bags outside the apartment. The dude just decides to let it be. He never really liked the way the rug looked in his old girlfriend's apartment anyway. After wandering the streets that same day, he passes a pawn shop window and sees the perfect bowling ball just sitting there in the window with the price tag of $95. The ball is calling to him. It must be his. He needs $95, which is a pretty huge sum of cash. So he scours the local area for work, but is, alas, unsuccessful. He doesn't have the resume required for working in a burger bar, supermarket, or any other low-paying job role. He sits on a bench in front of a building and lights up his last half a joint that he saved in his shirt pocket. As he smokes, a sign on the building over the road reading Donny's Auto Salvage becomes illuminated in his mind's eye, and he's drawn close to the building. He sees a young man outside and approaches him to ask him for work. Donny, the young man, takes an instant liking to the dude, offering him a place to stay till he can get back on his feet. Donny tells the dude he has a job collecting a wrecked Studebaker from somewhere uptown the next day. It's only a day's work, but he can pay him $95. How convenient. The dude accepts the work as he believes it must be fate. The next day, they head uptown to pick up the car. The dude quickly realizes his role here is not to do any work. Rather, he should provide emotional support and spiritual guidance to Donnie. This is where it gets a bit fudged. Right. I've used the writer's device here. See if you can spot it. The car retrieval goes completely tits up. The details aren't important. Just trust me. It's pretty crazy. Kind of like some of the crazy shit that happened in the original film. It gets pretty confusing. After the confusion is finally figured out, Donnie hands him the hard-earned $95 and asks the dude what he needs the money for. The dude tells him it's to buy a bowling ball. He mentions he wants to get back into bowling so he can join the league again, but he needs a team to do this. Donnie mentions he's an excellent bowler, though not as good as his friend Walter. Walter has a few mental problems, but is probably the best bowler he knows. The dude agrees to meet them the next day for practice. He enters the bowling alley with his new ball and approaches the lane where Donnie and Walter are sat. Walter is arguing with a league official about the fact that he knows a team needs more than 2 players and that he and Donnie are expecting a third person, who, as luck would have it, has just turned up. The dude shakes Walter's hands and asks if he minds if he warms up. The film ends with the dude unzipping his bowling bag and slowly placing his fingers into his new ball before holding it up to the light with a look of giddiness in his eyes as he prepares to swing his arm back to roll.
Wow. Okay.
Right, there you go.
Okay, it was long, but it was nice.
Well, I don't know how long these things need to be.
I like the way that it was. The film starts and everything sort of is a thing. Our hero realizes what he wants. Loads of stuff then happens in order for him to get it. We'll worry about that later. And then after that's done, he gets what he wants. And that is my film. Thank you. I like
Thank
it.
you. Thank you very much.
Okay,
this was not a struggle. I found this. It was easy peasy. Easy.
All right, let's get questions. So
may I ask what style of animation this will be in?
It's going to be stop motion. I want it I've actually put Henry Selick down as a director just because I like his style.
Good.
So
did he do Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, and he did the bits in Life Aquatic, all the underwater stuff in the Life Aquatic.
Yeah.
I don't know what else he's done actually, but those are good enough for me.
Cool.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Eddie, have you got a question?
What's the soundtrack going to be like? Because the soundtrack to this one's pretty good. To Big Lebowski, there's a lot of Nami stuff, obviously, with Walter, but because this is a largely Walterless film, what is going to be the flavor? Tell me.
It'll be a very similar thing. Lots of Creedence Clearwater Revival and stuff like that. Obscure Bob Dylan stuff that is actually really good. Better than some of his more popular stuff. And I think I've got to put the Kenny Rogers Just Dropped In to See What My Condition Was In song back in there just for the hell of it, because that song's a beast of a song. I love that song. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it's going to have loads of montages, loads of crazy things, but it's quite hard to, it would have been a lot longer if I'd have written it as an actual.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you write things longer, they will be longer. Yeah.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, and I don't want to keep you guys that long,
Thanks.
That's fine. You're very kind.
Right then, cool. Okay, that's it then. You've heard your prequels, so it's time to vote. I'll give you a quick recap on those. If you're playing along at home, you can vote in the comments and we'll read them in a sec. But first of all, let's do a quick recap for you. Eddie's was called The Many Tales of the Stranger. So Sam Elliott's narrator character, and basically it's a walk through history of America. So you've got sections. You've got 4 sections. I guess one centering around the Pilgrims. You've got one about witches in Salem. You've got one where blackmailing senators and prohibition, and then you've got assassinating JFK as well. So all various tales about all that stuff. That's pretty cool. Nats was about the rug. It's brand new. It's 1961, just off the wherever it's come from. The first home it goes to, the colours didn't match, so it's given away to a young couple. who don't like it and shove it in the loft. Then it finally gets taken to a charity shop where an old lady gets it, and she gives it to the dude who lives next door. And because the dude always goes to her poetry nights, never misses it, so it's a bit of a nice way to give it to him. Was that the end?
Yeah, and then
it
he
leads
just
into
puts
the
it down, and it's it really pulls his room together.
Pulls the room together. There you go. Nath was original voices animated, like Nightmare Before Christmas style and all that stop motion animation. Jeff, we see Jeff at the start. Lebowski, obviously, and he's kicked off his bowling team that he's on. He don't like being around them because they've got negative energy, so he calls them all out for that. It goes back to his apartment where he shares with his girlfriend. She's dumped all his stuff outside. You've got his cassette tapes, his rug in a garbage bag. It wanders the street. He goes past a pawn shop and sees a perfect bowling ball. It's on sale for $95. He ain't got $95, so sits down, smokes his last half a joint. Then sign lights up, Donny's Auto Salvage. He goes and meets Donny. Donny offers him a place to stay. Says, I've got some work for you. Pick up a car for me. $95, he'll pay. And he goes, all right, I'll go do that. It's cool. So I'll go do that. Then he says to him, he wants to get back into bowling. He says, oh, come and meet my mate Walter. He's a great bowler. He's a bit crazy, but there you have it. So then they form the team and they go to practice. And that's how the film starts.
Not sure, buddy.
Yeah, so let's get voting. We've got votes already in the comments. So what are we going for?
My Christ.
I'm going to vote for Nats because it reminds me of, I can't remember what it's called. It might just be called $20, but there's a film where you just follow around a $20 bill as different people buy stuff with it and receive it and change it and stuff. And it reminds me of that, and I like that idea.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
This is tricky. I think I'm going to go for Eddie because I quite like how 4 separate stories are going to tie the theme together that will eventually lead us to like the 5th person that this god,
yes, this shamanic figure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go for Eddie's as well because I like the idea of the multifaceted story and the trip through history, all connected by the most awesome actor in the world, Sam Shepard. Hopefully, if we can get him, we'll get him.
We'll get him.
I did really like the sweetness of Nat's idea. I thought it was really cool.
I'll tell you what, all 3 of them are good to me. It don't happen that often, but
it really doesn't.
Sometimes some right shit.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go for. Oh God. I'm going to go for Nats. I think I like the idea of the rug being tied into all the different. I think ideas were close though as well. I like the idea of the 4 stories. I like that. And
mine and Nat's are very similar. Just one is told from the perspective of a sort of immortal observer, and one is told from the perspective of a rug.
Yeah.
And the rug one.
And, if you put more stuff in with the rug as well, it could even have a few more trips in there, couldn't it? So
yeah.
We'll have that. Right, let's have a look online then. We've got Martin. My vote goes to Webby.
Oh, nice.
Wow. I'm touched.
Oh, you say thanks.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What can we say?
Shut up.
Big T more.
Oh my God, he's voting for my rug. Thank you for voting for my rug.
Big T less, thank you.
Oh no, Nat, your idea did make me think. When you stick a rug in the loft, right? When you stick why didn't they just lie it down? Did they lie it down in the rug? Did they just lay it out in the loft? Or have they just rolled it up and stuck it in the corner?
Yeah.
What a waste of a rug.
Yeah, they didn't even unravel it.
Didn't even give it the courtesy of being unrolled.
So Nat won that round. Well done, Nat. With,
thank you very much.
Well done.
I appreciate that.
Well, it's all to play for. As we
we said it.
Let's rotate the board. I'll try and rotate the board. I don't know if I can.
Super match game.
I'm going to try and rotate the board. Here we go. Working. Hang on.
Webby next.
Wait. Is that? No.
No, it's got to be Webby next, and then Eddie. What are you doing?
What's going on?
down that way. That way.
Oh,
That's it.
jeez.
Right, I've got it. Got it.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, even though the thing never starts off in the right order anyway, does it, when I do it? Oh, it does it? No, it don't.
No, it does.
Let's move on. Sequels, right, here we go.
Okay.
Webby's still in the same place.
It don't matter. Just
It's like the same place. There you go. Cheers.
yeah.
There we go. We got it.
Oh dear. I
Technical
love it.
genius. I love it. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Right then,
Super match game.
Cool time. Super match game. Super match game. Right, sequel time. Nat, you going first on the sequel, please?
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
So I think that I love Donnie. I loved Donnie. So it's about Donnie. Okay, so Donnie wakes up in purgatory. He gets told that as he wasted his life bowling and surfing, he's probably heading to hell. The only way he can avoid it is to go to Earth and do one good thing. Donnie agrees, and his spirit suddenly appears back in his old bowling alley. At once he realizes what he must do. He uses his ghost powers to interfere with the championship game between the Big Lebowski's team, well, the Lebowski's team, and Jesus' team. This causes Jesus' team to win, and as a consequence, Walter completely loses his shit, smashes up the bar, and tries to kill Jesus. This gets Walter arrested and finally gets him help for his PTSD, making him better able to function and eventually be released back into society with treatment and medication. If Walter hadn't have done this, he would eventually have ended up shooting and killing someone and gone to prison for life. So when Donnie arrives back in purgatory and tells them what he has done, they let him into heaven. The end.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Right, cool. Okay, so Nath and Eddie, you can ask Nat a question.
Is the dude in it? I didn't hear anything about him.
Yeah,
he's just in the bowling tips. It's not about him.
It's not about him. It's about Donnie.
Let's shine a bit of light on some other characters. Give them a shot. Yeah.
We do see the dude because obviously Donnie pops up during this game and causes the dude and Walter to lose, and for Walter to go mad. But then when Walter's having his treatment for his complex PTSD, he's visited by the dude and Donnie's ghost is there. So we see his recovery process. But when Donnie gets to purgatory and says what he's done, you then see a flashback to what would have happened if Donnie hadn't have interfered and made him lose the game, which is that Lebowski and Walter would have won. But eventually, within months, Walter's temper would have caused him to actually use the firearm to kill somebody and end up going to prison and never get treated and never get out. So that's why he gets into heaven. So we see the dude, but we see him as almost like as the Donnie character rather than the other way around.
Okay. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, Eddie, have we got one?
Who is God?
Well, I don't think it should be the dude from the bar because I don't think he is the God. I think he is
I wasn't trying to lead it in any way. I just wondered if you considered who the celestial bodies are going to be.
Well, I don't think we're ever going to meet God because it's purgatory. So I think it's just going to be, it's just probably going to be some minor angels,
some
and
middle
demons.
management.
Yeah.
Right.
That type of, if you watched Good Omens or you read Good Omens, that type of Crowley sort of,
level.
sort of, where they're essentially sort of just processing people. And Donnie's like, dude, I shouldn't be here. This is far out.
It's a bit like that bit in Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
the
literally.
waiting room there.
And
Fair
he's just sort of hanging around and it's a bit weird. And then one of the angels, and probably an Aziraphale style angel because he's such a nice man, let it slip to him that if he can create one good deed, he can let him through to heaven rather than
he just sort of goes, maybe if you can stop someone from doing something bad, for example, off you go. That right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Cool.
Amazing.
All right. Any more questions?
Nope.
What colour are your underwear?
I'm wearing bright
for
pink
all of you.
ones for
That's for all of you.
Nathan Virginia Webb.
I knew it'd be like this.
Middle name in me.
Not how we talk on the computer. Thank you.
Told you not to
Sorry,
be like
internet.
this.
I'm sorry.
We just lost a viewer because of your underwear question.
Probably because apparently I'm the dirtiest thing on the entire internet tonight. Sorry.
Yeah. Take some doing.
You're the worst thing I've seen on the internet, and I've been on it twice.
Monday night. Not as bad as who were in news earlier. Oh, we won't talk about that.
Oh, it's so topical. Come on.
Oh, we won't talk
It's a
about
family
that.
show.
It's a family show. We got Anna's joining us, saying black. There you go.
Hey.
We lose a viewer in game one.
Yep.
Black
Well, if we're all playing, then Anna, snap.
Let's have a look. Little arts and flowers.
Oh, that is nice.
Probably a cartoon character.
Where?
Can't remember. I'm up early.
How early?
Really early. Woke up early this morning. Left window open. Birds were singing, going, "Get up!"
You're very much a Disney princess in many ways, aren't you?
Big team on.
And that can be respected.
Or as Annie likes to say, going commando. There you go. Should we do the next person's thing? Else we're going to be here all fucking...
Yeah. It's Webby. Whenever Webby comes on.
You did arrive just in time,
Sorry.
right?
You did, yes, Anna.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a professional.
Okay, here we go. Right, Nath, it's your turn. Your sequel.
Okay, my sequel. I'm going to go as fast as I can because I've been told I'm pretty wordy. There we go. Big Lebowski 2, The Dude Goes to Space. 1 year after. Lebowski, a.k.a. The Dude, has gone to Houston for a bowling convention with Walter. The film starts with the Dude and Walter in the car park of a bowling alley, arguing about the fact that Walter got into a fight with another official and got them kicked out of the league. They get into the Dude's car, whilst Walter is still trying to defend his actions and making it all about Vietnam. On the way out of the parking lot, Walter spots a sign for the Johnson Space Center of the division of NASA and starts to tell the Dude about the fact the moon landing was clearly faked and a cover-up, and obviously connected to the Vietnam War. He insists the Dude humour him, and they take a trip to the museum where he will prove his theory. They take the tour, and Walter keeps trying to prove the moon landing was fake and banging on about Vietnam, but the Dude isn't really listening. The Dude sneaks off and has a doobie of marijuana behind a warehouse whilst listening to Stoner Rock on a tape through his Walkman. He stubs it out, and a montage with really cool music begins as the Dude ambles around the NASA airport hangars, seeing bombers and having scary visions of war and stuff. He finds an empty warehouse and walks through a door into what appears to be a massive, retro-looking spaceship. The door shuts behind him and a panel blinks to life, and a spaceshipy voiceover alerts him that ignition will begin in 5 seconds. Realizing he is trapped, the Dude sits down in the pilot's seat and just enjoys the takeoff, decides to go with it. And in a short time, he's in space. He lands on a planet where all the males look like German nihilists from the first movie, and he barely escapes with his life. But he does escape. The details aren't important. You have to trust me on that one. He next lands on a planet full of Viking women where he's forced to impregnate the queen, who looks quite a lot like Julianne Moore. He almost falls in love when he suddenly remembers something and he must leave. He must leave for her. Sorry. Oh, dear. He gets lost, unfortunately, on his way back to Earth, and after a spell, he finds himself in front of a gassy nebula, which explains to him he is the spirit of Donnie, his old friend from the first movie. Donnie gifts the Dude the magical rug of time and space, woven from space dust and energy or some shit. The Dude thanks Donnie and tells him it will really tie his room together. Donnie uses space magic to give the Dude a boost home in the right direction. The Dude arrives back at Earth, but the spaceship has lost its trajectory and smashes into the Earth, exploding into pieces. As the smoke clears, the camera pans out to reveal a shot of the Dude's eye, slowly expanding outwards. The Dude never went to space. He was stoned all along. Walter pops out from a corner and says, "Where were you, Dude? You missed that bullshit fake-ass moon landing capsule." The Dude is still taking in the events of his mind, but he looks down and sees the rug is neatly rolled up under his arm. He holds it up to the light and we see it cosmically sparkle. The Dude mutters to himself, "Wow, this is really going to tie the room together." The film ends with the Dude's car pulling out of the Space Center as some awful Creedence Clearwater Revival track plays. The end.
Wow, Jesus. All right.
Sorry, bit of an epic.
It's all right. Okay, questions from Eddie and Nat.
It reminded me of the sequel to Forrest Gump, the novel where he goes to space with Raquel Welch.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
And meet Tom Hanks.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he meets Tom Hanks. not in space.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the author of the novel went, everyone seems to be talking about my book now, so I better toss off another one. Then go space with Requel Welsh.
Right.
Nice. So are we going to be witnessing sort of a planet for every single key event?
Not everyone, because I mean, it was long enough. I cut it down to just the German nihilists and Julianne Moore, because I thought, you know, if we're getting into porn producers and other freaks from this film, then we'll be here sometime.
I was thinking less, what's his name, Treehorn, and more the Big Lebowski and Bunny. Whether they, if this is all in his dope adult psyche, then would they not play some sort of?
Can Big Lebowski be Santa Claus in space? Can he be reprise his role as Santa Claus?
I mean, maybe it could land on some sort of planet populated by little Lebowski urban achievers or something, and loads of kids trying to make him do deeds. I don't know. Well, whatever.
Yep. Absolutely, what Chris just said. They could be the elves.
Well, tying in Santa Claus, a movie with it. Yeah, clever. Or maybe. Yeah, why not? We'll do it.
Maybe it's already tied in.
Yeah. So, what's your casting going to be for this? Are we sticking with the original cast as far as we can, or?
I mean, yeah, I prefer to personally. Although Steve Buscemi's probably going to be a voiceover. He's just a gassy cloud. Walter's not in it that much. Yeah, I think the trouble is with Walter is that's what he's going to do in every movie. He's bang on about Vietnam and conspiracy theories. So, you know, you have to cut him out a little bit. Give the dude room to roam free. Yeah.
Well, you did that.
He'd probably be like a QAnon kind of guy these days, wouldn't he? Sad to say.
Yeah.
Not like in the 90s when they were fun.
He'd have his own YouTube channel, wouldn't he? Be on there.
Oh, yeah.
Just reminded me about that. It was a really odd. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say all of Walter's videos would be filmed on his phone from the dashboard of a truck as he drives around, seemingly at random, just going, and do you know what else? Right, they are all trying to get you.
Yeah, it's do you know things the weirdest line in this entire film for me is the one where they casually mention that the evil Mexican bowler Jesus is a pederast, and it's just casually thrown in there, and you see a little scene of it. Like, I don't think that would happen now. I think it'd be its own movie, its entire own movie. But yeah,
it's also people seem to be sort of upset, but not upset enough to say we don't want you in our bowling league, or you know, anything like that. It's just they go. No.
They're all really afraid of him as well, aren't they? For some bizarre reason, because John Goodman, you'd think he'd wouldn't give a shit because he stands up to all those three guys later in car park.
Yeah,
there's something very wrong about him, isn't it?
What's like he got over him?
He's like pure psycho, like Begbie sort of character.
Have you seen him in what's the Adam Sandler, Mr. Deeds, the Adam Sandler film? Have you seen him in that? He plays the butler. You've never seen it? He's brilliant as his butler in that film. It's really funny.
It's an interesting bit of casting.
Yeah,
no, I've not seen it either.
He keeps saying I'm very, very sneaky. It's funny. You have to watch it. He just pops up and goes, "I'm very, very sneaky, sir." It's funny. I'll stand by that.
Is that because he wasn't cast? He just kept on getting onto the set, and eventually and he's like, "How'd you get here?" I'm very, very sneaky.
I don't often recommend Adam Sandler films, but yeah.
Well, you're recommending that one on the strength that he says it's very sneaky. So when we watch it, we say, "Oh, you're right. He did say I'm very, very sneaky."
No, but you'll laugh when he says it. Is my point.
Oh,
wasn't Mr. Deeds a remake?
Sounds like a threat.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Deeds is a remake.
Yeah.
We'll laugh.
You will laugh.
Bob's back with no comment. Just
hey, Bob. Thanks for not saying anything.
Type your words, Bob. I hope you're all right. He had an heart attack the other week.
Did he?
Yeah.
Bob.
I hope he's all right. Bob, put hello so we know you're all right. You're not just laid on keyboard. He likes to joke about it. I'm not just being insensitive.
Fair
enough. To joke about that. That makes me sound like a right bastard.
Oh my god.
Taking good humour.
We assume he did. He's not. Oh, there we go.
He literally died laughing.
All right.
I knew that'd perk
Well,
him up.
our minds are all set at ease now. That's okay.
Oh, that's good.
Right then. Okay, let's get on to Eddie's then. Eddie's sequel, please.
Yep. Okay. So it's the evening of the Donny Karabatos Memorial Bowling Tournament. Dude and Walter take their places. They're about to win. Just as Dude takes what will be the winning shot, an air horn goes off, causing him to gut a ball. Everyone looks around, and they see that it's the Big Lebowski and Brandt. Blaming Dude for his wife leaving him, he decides to take from him what he loves. He fires the air horn, Dude loses, and then he turns around and leaves with Brandt, his butler guy, the Philip Seymour Hoffman character.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day, the Big Lebowski is found dead, and a splashing of coffee liqueur is found near his body. Someone is trying to frame the Dude for murder of his namesake. Dude, Walter, and Maud, who found out about this and knows that it's garbage, need to track down who it is. They suspect Jesus Quintana, Treehorn, and the Nihilists, but rule them all out as they all have watertight alibis. Finally, after a great deal of investigation, coercion, and observation, they discover that it's Brandt, who promised to get Bunny the money from the Big Lebowski's life insurance if she agrees to go to bed with him. And so he tried to frame the Dude for it.
Okay. Right then. Questions then? Nat and Nith, you got for us? Nothing.
I was muted.
Muted. Did you have to do a Trump? You muted yourself in case we heard it.
Well, I'd like to say it was a Trump. I'd be very honest about it, but there was a helicopter because I live in Beeston and there
That's more likely.
Yeah, literally. Somebody blew up, tried to blow up a car.
Someone tried to blow up a car.
Genuinely, one of the streets very near me has a drug dealer living on it, and somebody drove a car through his wall and then threw like an improvised device underneath his car because there was a massive bang. And it was that. Yeah, so that's this helicopter's here all the time. Yeah.
Wow.
So Philip Seymour Hoffman no longer with us. R.I.P. Sad times. Who's going to be Brandt if Philip Seymour Hoffman isn't with us?
I was playing with the characters less than the actors, I'm afraid. I sort of hadn't really taken that into consideration. I thought of it more as the story rather than how it was going to work. It's a great shame because Philip Seymour Hoffman was great in this.
What about that dude who looks exactly like Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Yeah, we'll use it. Perfect.
From the
guy from Breaking
Bad.
Bad. Yeah, it looks...
I think I know who you mean.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's amazing.
If they've got the chops, then absolutely them.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Thanks.
Get him in it. Yeah, good.
Yes, obviously, ideally, it would have been made in about the year 2000 when Philip Seymour Hoffman was still with us in his prime.
We always say, don't we, on this show, that you can have people who are deceased, that passed away. You can still cast them, so you're all right.
Yeah,
if you want it set just after, if you want to make it, then that's fine.
I mean, that's what I would have done. But failing that, if you want a real life scenario, then this gentleman you've been talking about sounds ideal.
I can't remember his name. I'll find out his name. My question would be: it's the tone of the film. Are you going for like a straight up whodunit murder mystery type thing, or is it going to be a bit more farcical, bit of comedy in there, or?
Well, when I was reading up on the Big Lebowski, I found out the Coen brothers had initially conceived it as their sort of version of a Raymond Chandler style sort of hard-boiled detective thing, obviously, but with their own angle on it, which is why there's so many double crosses, so many this isn't what it seems is, so many of these sort of layers and stuff. And so I'd want it to lean on that, but still with that tone of the irreverence of it would be irreverent in the sense of the Big Lebowski, but there'd be slightly more urgency as he would also be trying to avoid the cops, which is where Walter comes in, because obviously Walter is the kind of guy who knows how to avoid the cops. You just, he's got theories on it. Maud's got plenty of money, so she can assist with that and that kind of thing. And obviously she's she's probably pregnant with his child by then, as spoilers for the film. But yeah, so there's a sort of a vested interest in making this clear, and also then it means that she may well get her father's life insurance money rather than it going to his wife, whom she suspects of being a gold digger for some reason. The 18-year-old, nymphomaniac who loves the morbidly obese old man for his mind.
He's Father Christmas, though, in his defense.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right, actually. I fancy him now.
That makes it worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
That really makes it worse.
But yeah, so it would be slightly more urgent, slightly more hard-boiled, but with still, you can't get away from the fact that you've got Walter and his sort of monologuing about survival and things like that, and dude's general laid-back attitude, even though the police are after him for actual premeditated murder.
All right. Cool. Right then. Okay. So let's get voting. I'm going to give you a quick. Let's give you a quick recap. Nat's sequel was Donnie wakes up in purgatory, as we know he dies in the film. Excuse me.
Oh, heck, are you upset?
Very
Are you
upset
all right?
about that.
I am very upset. Oh God! Right. He's told he can avoid hell if he goes back down to earth and does one good thing. Okay. So his spirit ends up in the bowling alley, where all the events took place in the film, obviously, and he uses his ghost powers to interfere in the big bowling game between the two teams, basically, Jesus' team and Lebowski's and Walter's. So he causes Lebowski's team to lose, and then Walter goes nuts, goes crazy. He's arrested, and then he's taken away, and he's treated for his, for the way he is.
PTSD.
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD. And as a result of that, Donnie ends up getting into heaven because he sorted it out. He stopped an even bigger problem happening.
He did, because he would have murdered somebody if he didn't.
There you go. Nath was dude goes to space. Here we go. Right,
that'll do.
There's a bowling tournament in Houston. I've written it down. I'm reading.
I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed that you're actually writing stuff down.
Chris has got so fast at writing over this last year.
Jesus, I know. Right, so there's a Houston bowling tournament, right? Walter and the dude are there. They go to NASA and they're having an argument. Walter's telling him about fake moon landings, basically. We're all forged and they filmed it and everything. They go on a museum tour at NASA. Dude nips off for a quick joint. He goes into the hangars. He gets a vision. But then he ends up in a spaceship and it ignites and takes him off to space, right? He lands on a planet. It's got aliens who are German nihilists. Then it goes to another planet. It's got Viking women, and he has to impregnate the queen who looks like Julianne Moore. Then he just gets lost for a bit. He ends up at a gassy nebula, which is actually Donnie, the voice of Donnie, who gives him a magical rug. And then he says, I'll give you a boost dome. Spaceship smashes up on re-entry. And then you see the dude's eye, and it pans out, and it was just him in NASA, and he was stoned all along. What's his face comes in? Walter comes in, says, where have you been? At the end of the film, the drive off into the sunset, dude's got rug rolled under his arm. All right. Eddie's was big bowling tournament. It's a tribute to Donnie, basically. They're playing the game, and then an air horn goes off and makes them lose the game. And it turns out it's Big Lebowski and Brandt. Then later on, Big Lebowski's dead, and there's coffee liqueur found near the body. So dude's the suspect, obviously. But the police, I think it was, well, it would be, wouldn't it? Suspect all the usual suspects that we've seen throughout the film.
No, it's Donnie. Sorry, not Donnie. It's Dude, Walter, and Maud. Shake down the mall because they're trying to find out who framed him. So they go to
Yeah, they rule them all out, and then they end up finding out it was Brant who'd promised, who set dude up. He promised Bunny that she'd get all the
life
money,
insurance.
Life insurance money. Cool. Okay, let's vote. Right, vote online. Watching along, we'll vote in the room as well. Wow, I've got to vote for Nate. Dude in space. As soon as you said it, I went, yeah. All right.
I like Nats. I like the sort of it's like A Christmas Carol meets A Wonderful Life. I'm very fond of those. It's for strangely Christmassy for a Big Lebowski thing, but yeah,
I've got a bit of Bill and Ted from it as well. A bit of Bill and Ted.
A little bit, yeah.
You got to go back and fix everything.
There's alternate history in there, or alternate future in this case. But yeah, I like that one. So I'm going to vote for Nats.
Yeah, I liked the silliness of Nats as well. I think I'll vote that. Yeah, I'll vote there. Everybody loves a good purgatory story.
All right, who are you voting for now?
I'm really struggling because I think I can see both of them being made, and I want to see both of them as well. Oh no! I'm going to go for Eddie's. Sorry, Nathan, that was really close.
That's fine. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Don't worry, he won't forget it. Right, let's have a look online.
They were both really good.
Big Team R, really like Ed's, but vote goes to Webby's Lebowski in Space.
Lebowski in Space.
Yeah,
it is good
as well. And we've got
again the emoji.
Oh,
thank you,
our audience just emojis on point. Really,
good emoji worker.
Yeah.
It's good they're showing up. We haven't had a thingy yet. What do you call it? We get them every week. One of them things that say you want to be famous.
Yeah.
Oh, a
troll
bot thing.
Troll's the word I'm looking for. Troll, yeah, bot.
Well, they're more of a bot, aren't they? I think.
Yeah. Anyway, any more votes coming in? The people are watching, but they're not voting. So we've got 2 votes. Any more voting? Martin's still with us. We're gonna have to close the voting in 5, 4, 3, 2, and a bit. 1. It's gone. Well.
Cue Terry.
At the end of that, yes. She could have saved the day for you two.
Hello, I like Nats, please, thanks.
But Nat has claimed another victory there. She's got 3 votes again. Nat, which means I'm going to say it's not all to play for this evening because Nat's already won. She could literally say nothing in this last round and she's still won.
But that's not how we play the game,
that's
is it?
That's not how we play the game. We'll play for fun. We'll keep it going for fun. Let's rotate the board.
Here we go. I'm excited. We're doing it.
Let's rotate the board. It's wrong. Shit.
Jesus.
Is that right?
This is your new quiz show right here.
I go where Eddie goes. No, I'm wrong. No, Eddie.
Just that one, yeah. Ah, shit. No!
That's it.
Right, there we go. Oh, God. Right.
Oh, Jesus.
We're going that way around then. Right, I've got you. Okay.
If you want to be doing this kind of shit, Chris, you've got to learn how to use OBS. You can't just sit there clicking away while we're live, just going, oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, fuck, he's not supposed to be there. Oh, no.
I mean, the viewers know that it's thrown together. Usually we'd have a tech on this shit. If this goes on BBC, we'd have a tech.
Oh, yeah. That'll be fine then.
I'd be like, rotate the bot. I'd be out up front. I wouldn't be that behind the desk. I'd be out.
You'd be there with like one of those tiny little, like a really thin blankety blank sort of tiny microphone. The Valier on the stick.
Let's rotate the boards round then, please. I'll do that and it. Not with blankety blank music. Unless
you'd be. You've decided you're going to be Northern Irish for the TV version.
It plays better, apparently. I don't know why.
Fair enough.
Right then, okay. As we go into the requels,
okay.
Nath, your Stein. Nathan Webb.
Well, as many words as I wrote for both the other things.
Hang on, my hand's a bit tired before I start this one.
Don't worry about it.
Put your compression glove on.
I wasted all my words in the other 2 things. I've got 3 lines here. I've recast it. I don't know why you'd ever want to remake a film like this. I think it'd be silly. However, if you're going to do it, do it as a musical or something, you know, put a bit of life into it. So I think mine's going to
come on,
be
Minchin.
Big Lebowski, the musical,
Okay.
with Joaquin Phoenix playing the dude.
Yeah, okay.
I've got Mark Ruffalo playing Walter Sobchak, and Michael Cera from Arrested Development playing Donnie. I mean, if you try and find a cast for this film, it's just difficult, man. Just difficult. Everybody looks so odd in this film. I'd just be tempted to put them all in it again. Most of them, they're all still alive. But anyway, that's what I would do. I'd do it as a musical, and exactly the same storyline. Maybe integrate some of the soundtrack into the songs of the films, like the lazy musical writers do. And yeah, just let it go. Yeah. I'm not mentioning any names, but yeah. I've seen it. I have seen it happen.
That's going to be one of the questions. You know it is. Are you open for questions now? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Sample song.
Yeah, I need to know what one of these songs is and who's singing it.
Titles of songs. Have you got any titles of songs, or a little sample? Or
no, I didn't get that far. Nothing rhymes with Lebowski. Lots of things rhyme with the dude, but I didn't think of that till just now. So
you thought it would be crude and a little bit rude if you rhyme with the dude.
Everybody wants to smoke with the dude. Yeah. Bowling. The bowling song.
Oh, the bowling song.
Yeah, the bowling song. Bowling your way into my heart. Bowling, you know the song. Bowling your way, you bowled yourself right up my alley.
I'm gonna bowl this ball right down to the pins. I'm gonna bowl this ball right down to the pins.
That's the showstopper song right there. You know.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
What about a song that's about the rug? There must be one.
Yeah.
Definitely, there is. Yeah, it's called "This Mother Rugger." I don't know.
Really? Because I'd have assumed that the rug song would have been what there would be instead of like a sort of a love song, because that's the main heartache in this. Dude does have relations, but it's just a casual one night stand.
Yeah, I think the Stranger is going to have a big musical number, obviously.
Yeah.
When he appears, he's going to.
He'd open the show, wouldn't he? He'd be
philosophize.
Maybe like the narrator in Rocky Horror.
Yeah. But everybody got something to do in this musical. You got the German nihilist song, all craftworky and very
lovely,
functional,
not really minimalist. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no point in music. Music does nothing.
Yeah, just totally monotone, no instrumentation. Like Edgar Varese or something like that.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. You believe it.
It'll still be better than Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
Yeah.
People died making that.
I know.
What? Is that
criminal?
True?
Oh, they got
mangled. Yeah.
There's a YouTube video about it going into detail. Yeah.
It was calamitous.
Even
why
YouTube decided to pull out. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
YouTube turns around on your project and goes,
yeah.
I'm out. You go, what?
We don't want the money anymore. That means something's gone super bad.
Yeah.
You know, in Phantom, when the chandelier falls and it looks like it's going to crash into the audience, stuff like that was happening in Spider-Man without any text. Like with people going, is that supposed to? Oh God! It was like,
I'm going to read that. I've just queued it up. I want to read that when we finish.
There's a great YouTube video about the making of it. I can't remember what channel it's on, but it's amazing.
Sounds like one of our college productions. I was trying to kill someone off in our college productions.
They must have pissed off a witch or something. They did something. It's like they opened up a sarcophagus or something, and it just went calamitously cursed.
When we did Jesus Christ Superstar at college, and you were up on the cross, Webb, I always thought that could easily topple over and kill you.
Mate, I know. Yeah, you could have done. You think about that stuff now.
They had him on top of Kirk's Lab here, up on one of the top, like, you know, what do you call them? Like, not rampart, is it? I guess.
Yeah, like the roof.
Yeah, like
the
ramparts.
On there, but hoisted up, and they were hoisted up by three of the dumbest people in the college. It wasn't like, if I remember correctly.
Take that back. One of them saved my ass because one night, underneath my Jesus robes, I was supposed to have a loincloth on. I forgot to put it on, and I had blue stripy boxer shorts on. So I got to the top of the roof, and I was like, oh, fuck. So I had to whisper to the guy, "What am I going to do? What am I going to do?" And it was what's it called, Techie Andy, and he made me. He took the robe, the Jesus robe, and he just wrapped it around me really quick, thinking like, "Boom, done."
Like a nappy.
Yeah, like a big giant Jesus nappy. Yeah, I got in big trouble for that.
The Jesus sandal really took off, not so much the Jesus nappy.
Yeah, that's true.
It was an interesting one, but yeah, I always thought they're gonna drop you off there one night and just you're tied up.
Meanwhile, while you're waiting for me to get blown off a crucifix, somebody hung themselves over the way. Should have been watching that guy. Yeah,
they crucified him so hard he blew off.
I did.
But yeah, that was that. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on after that bombshell. Eddie, it's your turn for your recall, please.
Okay. I want to remake it even more Chandler-esque. I want to do it like a 30s Chandler style film mystery. So Jeff Lebowski, known as Pal to everybody, gets caught up in a crime caper revolving around a tycoon, a trophy dame, a smut-peddling broad, several European radicals, all through the fog-shrouded streets of San Francisco. Through these streets, everybody's pal will dice with the criminal underbelly and the business elite of California.
I like it.
So it's going to be like a Philip Marlowe style thing, like their inspiration, but we're going to take it back to the OG.
All right, cool. So Nath and Nat, you can ask Eddie a question.
I'm not sure if I have one. That sounds pretty wrapped up, does that?
Yeah, it's quite a concise.
Yeah.
I could actually see it. I see like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang 30s style sort of caper-esque, which I guess is what the Big Lebowski is supposed to be. It's just so distracted by its own bullshit. It's such a silly,
Well,
he even meets a private investigator in it, which is a little.
I like the fact that you've changed it from the dude to pal, which is a lot more of the time.
Yeah, only cowboys used the word dude back in those days. So yeah.
So would there be a voiceover from Pal in this?
It would be it would be first person voiceover. Yeah, it wouldn't be narrated by a third party. It would be him. Or what I might consider, actually, what would be even better is having a voiceover by someone else, but as your man way down in the future. So it would be possibly someone like Sam Neill or even Jeff Bridges today talking about it as craziest case I ever worked on kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
So it wouldn't be real time. It would be past tense.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? No.
Would he be able to drink White Russians with it being the 30s and communism and all that? What's he going to drink instead of?
Instead
of prohibition was the hatred for the Russians is what I was thinking of. Might be slightly later than the 30s.
To be honest, I mean that didn't come till afterwards, really, because it was after the Second World War. So
50s, isn't it? Russian. Well,
it would have been probably old fashions. It would be rye and a sugar lump.
They weren't called old fashions back then, though. They were
called fashioned. They were called a la mode. But yeah, they'd probably be old fashions rather than White Russians. But I think did old fashions become popular because of Mad Men, or was that just neat bourbon?
I'm not entirely sure.
He'll have a bottle of bourbon in his cabinet. There you go.
But yeah, something more of the tone. So yeah, an old fashioned would probably be the most likely. Possibly martinis, gin martinis.
Right. Okay. I think that's it for questions, isn't it? Straightforward. Nat, shall I go then for your requel?
Yep. So I've been watching quite a lot of programs, let's say, about horror movies recently. Cursed Films, which I thought was very good, and Eli Roth's History of Horror, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. So I thoroughly enjoy this film. So I wouldn't want to remake it. But if you're going to make me, then I'm going to make it into a horror because I'm feeling quite inspired at the moment. So I want the same cast. I want Bunny to disappear, but she's not going to come back because she's been sacrificed. Instead, she ends up haunting Lebowski, Walter, and Donnie in an almost like, like in The Ring, the Japanese version of The Ring, where they're almost haunted. Like the main character becomes haunted by the girl that she's trying to save, and then eventually can't, and so she passes on the curse. So Bunny starts to haunt the boys, and they have to try and get to the bottom of who and why she has been disappeared. And it turns out the Big Lebowski and his butler have sacrificed her and have awakened an ancient evil, a la Evil Dead, maybe. And so it's up to Walter, Donnie, and Lebowski to put it back in the box, so to speak. And they get Maud to help them because she knows that her dad, the reason he doesn't get any money anymore is because he's a black magician and was spending lots of money on curses and voodoo and things like that. So yeah, I want it to have a really, and you know what, I want it to be scary. I don't want it to be like a comedy. I want it to have that sort of horrible, creeping horror that the Korean and Japanese horror movies have, that genuinely do just give you chills and give you sleepless nights, like the original Grudges and things like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. All right then. Questions then, Eddie and Nath?
I was going to ask if it's going to be a straight up shit your pants horror or something a little bit more Tremezy with a bit of humour in there. But you've answered that already. But I think that's a wise decision because the first one's quite funny. The original's quite funny. Take away all trace of comedy from it.
That's what I'm thinking, because like you almost would expect it to be a bit of a piss take, but I don't want that. I want these three actors, because let's be honest, all three of them are really good actors. I mean, you've also got flipping people like Philip Seymour Hoffman and Julianne Moore, they're brilliant actors. So why let's use them in a different way, and let's get a Korean or Japanese director on board who understands a proper horror. I literally have never been more scared in my life than when I watched the original version of The Ring. Terrified. That's what I want. I want people to be awake at night.
I think there were a triple whammy that got me: the Grudge, The Ring, and The Eye, the original Japanese ones.
Yeah.
And Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yeah, that was proper terrifying.
Yeah.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah.
Breakfast at Tiffany's. Yeah.
All right. Any more questions then from that?
Are the sort of smaller characters? Because there are some characters we only get introduced to once. I was thinking of, for example, David Thewlis's character would, because the monster that he most sort of resembles would be something like a banshee, with that sort of very high pitched nasal cackling that he does throughout the scene that he's in for no real reason other than it's fun to have him around, apparently. But
His character was called Knox Harrington, apparently.
Yeah, no, he got a full name, and he's in it for very little time.
Yeah.
But he is one of those characters, like you say, if you recut this trailer as a horror and put that laugh in there, then you've got the start of it. Yeah.
And he's creepy, isn't he? Like He's like he's a creepy. Could he be a cult member? Or
he's
is he
super gaunt, and he's got the John Waters moustache, and everything is met with this sort of.
And he could be the character, in The Grudge with the little boy that just appears. That like I know it's not as good a version, but in the American version of The Grudge, when you see the lift going up and every floor it passes, you see the little boy in the window. Like horrible. So that's what we could use his character for, because he's got such a tall, thin sort of presence that he could just be alongside Bunny, potentially just be guiding them towards.
Likewise, as well, if you did it like, when you're looking for the jump scare, now we've got to the point with horror movies, the jump scares come in. Oh my God, they're going towards the door. They're going to open the door. The jump scare is going to be there. But they open the door, there's nothing there, and then they turn around and the jump scare's there. Yes. If he was the jump scare there behind my shoulder cackling, I definitely would.
Exactly. And the really effective jump scare in The Ring, where she sees the reflection of her husband in the TV. I think it's her husband, and he has the towel on she turns the TV off, and his reflection is as if he stood behind her, but he's not there. That's he could do stuff like that. Like it could just be a looming, lurking presence. He'd be great. And imagine Philip Seymour Hoffman as an evil in a horror. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're all right at making these bloody indie films, aren't they? Popping up all over. Let's see how you do with a proper script.
Give the people something they want. This stuff about a man whose leg turns into a courgette and we're all supposed to care because it means something.
Right then, it's time to do some voting. I'll give you a quick recap on the requels. Here we go. Nath's basically wants a musical. He's going to recast it though with Joaquin Phoenix as the dude, Mark Ruffalo as Walter, and Michael Cera as Donnie. And then various titles that he made up as we probe.
No, shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I should have done a bit more research on that.
That's something to bear in mind when you come on next time. If you
I know, I've got it already.
They'll always ask you. I love you. They'll go, give us a.
Yeah,
we very rarely put forward musicals because we don't have the time in the day to come up with at least 12 songs for it. That's why we leave well alone.
I have had the time today and I've just squandered it all. Squandered it
not writing a Big Lebowski musical.
Never mind. Right, Eddie's was remake it. It's going to be basically one of those 30s style mystery detective
Raymond
noir
Chandler
thingy. Yeah, like that. You're going to have the dude's called the Pal instead, or Pal. There's going to be a tycoon in it, dames. Fog shrouded San Francisco criminal underworld. I've written there. Nats was basically it's going to be a horror film, same cast, but Bunny's dead and haunts our trio of characters, and they've got to find out who, why. Let's put it back in the box. It's going to be very much Japanese horror style, curses, voodoo, all that
Korean white
stuff. Let's vote. Let's get voting. So you can vote in the room. What are we going for?
Oh, guys, can I split? No, I can't split my vote, can I? I don't know how this works.
Because
I can honestly, I think it must be the genius of Big Lebowski or the genius of you two people there, because they both work for me. I can see both happening, and I want to see both of them. I want to see a 30s version of the Big Lebowski and a proper shitty pants.
Go on, because Nat's already won really tonight. After
in fact, no, Nat's already won. Fuck it, Eddie, you can have it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
No point giving them more accolades. Jesus.
Very true.
I'm a sucker for a musical, and that casting sounds great. So I'm gonna vote for Nathan.
Yeah, me too. I think I'm gonna vote for Nathan because
I'll vote for Eddie's. I like the old detective style thing.
You want to film that one? You want to make that one, Lumb? That's why I can see you making it. You're directing it.
We'll make that one. Well, I'd have to get the rights first. I can't just assume
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's the thing. We all retain the rights to our own ideas on this show, which makes us super legit.
Right, let's have a look. Big Team More. Vote for Eddie's Hercule Poirot Lebowski.
That's like the Euro version of what I was going for. But yeah, I can dig.
Do you know what we should do? Do you know we do them cinema challenges sometimes, them 60-hour film challenges over weekends? We should do one for this one weekend, and we've got to make the film that gets chosen. It'd be insane, but we should try
also, then we couldn't just be like, Webby sits down and goes, he goes to space, right? And there are big monsters in space.
You've got to make it.
No. Yeah.
Vote for Eddie. Anna's vote.
Oh, thank you, Anna.
Eddie. There you go. Cool. Right. I think that might be all the online votes. I think we've got a big team out. I think more people are watching. I don't think they want to put the names up. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. Right then. So at the end of that round, Eddie is the winner of that round.
Oh, cool.
Well done.
Finally, I win with a noir idea.
Yeah.
I've been pushing these for years.
You haven't won in a while, have you, either?
It's been a couple of weeks.
There you go.
I was
Demolition Man, you won.
Yeah.
Demolition
Man, there we go.
Yeah.
Quick check.
Been
Right
too
then,
long.
so yeah, one too long. Right then, so at the end of tonight's show, we already knew this. Nat won the first and second round, so she's our overall winner this evening. Well done,
Thank you
Nat,
very much
for the Big Lebowski. Commiserations to you two gents. Sorry about
Great
that.
choice of movie.
There's always another show. There's always another
another
show.
Hey.
You'll get a chance.
I'm not coming back on if I don't win. If we're not going to win every time, you can kiss it. Kiss something.
You did win last time. What were you on last time? I like going back to other shows. I
know you did.
What did we do?
What did we do?
I can't remember. Oh, we did the Burbs, didn't we?
Yeah.
Burbs.
The Burbs.
Right.
That was a while back.
Yeah, and then I think a Christmas one, but some of you, I can't remember who was on that.
Oh, Love Actually.
Love Actually, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Rich was on as well, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We had, yes.
We had too many people in it.
It was too many people. It was fun, but yeah.
3 hours long. Right, anyway, so that's it for tonight. Let's do some plugging first of all. Nathan Webb, my good friend, do you want to plug anything while you're on?
Well, great timing as we're having a week and a half off doing our other show. It's All Geek to Me. He's not coming back till May the 17th on a Tuesday. We decided on a Tuesday, or was it a Wednesday?
Hang on.
I hope somebody wrote it down. There's definitely something happening. We'll let you know on Facebook when we get our shit together. Apart from that, no.
It's not at all. It's the 25th of May. Tuesday, the 25th of May. The Geek Show's back.
25th. 17th from.
That's 2 weeks.
Yeah, we have to. Lummy's going to have all his gigs and gettings, but he might. At some point, that sounded bad.
As long as you know what you're doing.
We're gonna move it. So
it's got to be moved. It's got to be moved.
It's got to be moved by popular demand.
Yeah, Saturday night's when I do the most of my partying. I'd like to party down on a Saturday night. You know, party.
So that's that. Do you want to plug? What about your music as well? You'll be doing your music again, won't you? When things go out of lockdown, so you know.
Yeah, we'll be doing that again. Hopefully, as soon as we're allowed to sit in a room together and write songs. I think we're actually technically allowed to do that, but Lummy's just got a bag full of excuses at the minute. I'm too busy doing a podcast. I've just decided to do a podcast. Sorry, got no car. Whatever. Walk it. If you love me, walk it.
My car's back now.
Did you sell your car to buy podcasting equipment?
Yeah. Times are tough. No, my car was. I had a car to Terry because she didn't have a car, so I've got it back now. She's got a car, so I've got my car. So
what podcast are you doing?
Hey,
what podcast are you doing?
Discount Comedy Checkout Podcast.
Oh, that one. I'm in that one.
Look, we're still getting demand for Loch Ness episode here. Look.
Oh, thanks, Big Timor.
He's coming soon, Big Timor. Mark my words.
You can't run from it forever, guys. You know he's going to get you.
We're going to get.
We're waiting for it to happen. I'm surprised it's not happened already.
We're literally waiting for a guest who wants to do it to come along.
We've got several guests who want to do it. You know,
that's true, actually. We're going to have to have.
I might have 1, 2, 3 guests who want to do it.
Well, we might. I think we ought to have a tournament where all the guests who want to do Loch Ness have to choose a different one, and whoever wins the most over that month, at the end of it, they get to come back and do Loch Ness.
That's the prize. Some would say it's a booby prize, but I don't know. We'd see. Nat, have you got anything to plug?
Nah, I haven't got anything to plug. Do I ever have anything to plug these days? No.
Is this YouTube channel never going to happen now? Have you just decided?
When I've got the time, literally.
Did you say it was going to be about serial killers?
It's going to be about it's going to be about things that have been inspired by serial killers and true crime, and also various haunting and horrible things that have happened in Yorkshire.
Oh, you're so dark, Nat. It's so dark.
I won't be watching that with a cup of cocoa.
Did you see the series that Mark Gatiss did about the horror stuff?
No, is it
Mark
good?
Gatiss from League of Gentlemen, BBC series, maybe a couple of years ago now, but it was all about hammer horror and then the evolution of horror from there.
It's
I'll give that a look. Yeah.
It's really, really good.
I seem to remember him going on about the Wicker Man's in there. As all sorts
Mark
of stuff.
Gatiss's history of horror.
Yeah,
there were a few things he couldn't talk about because they just couldn't get the rights to any of the footage, but Yeah, but
It's a decent documentary. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it is good, and he's very knowledgeable of it, and he has some good interviews with people.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
But as you're not doing your channel, it's completely pointless talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch them anyway.
You
That sounds really good.
watch it.
Why would you learn for the joy of it?
Yeah. Well, what's the point in that?
And why do you want not only if Nat starts a YouTube channel, not only is it going to take time away from what she does with you, but also you won't be able to watch it, Lummy, because you'll be too scared to watch it. It's going to be about murders and
I watch true crime all the time. I watch a guy called Mr. Balling on YouTube. I've mentioned him before. He's great. He comes on. He tells you about. There's a one called some at Ham as well. It's Slapped Ham.
Slapped Ham. Yeah, I know what you mean. Slapped Ham.
They do loads of horror stuff. I watch them all the time. Scare myself.
Do you not like horror movies, Chris?
Oh, I don't mind. Fine. I'm only
joking.
Only playing up for camera, aren't I?
It's really tough.
About what's the guy called who did the he did all the murders in London with the guy that David Tennant played on that.
The
Scottish guy, Dennis Nilsson.
I watched one about him the other day. I was like,
he had a dog called Bleep.
Shoving them all down drain pipes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How could that possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Anyway, we've gone on a bit of a downer. Right. Anyway, we got to plug
same as usual. IC News podcast and Fire Breathing Kittens, the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons podcast, fun for all the family. I'll promote my music. Bandcamp bandcamp.com/Eddie French. You can get my digital 7-inch on there. A song that's
saucy.
Mrs. Yes.
My tribute to Bad Religion and a song called "Be Careful What You Wish For," and also the Discount Comedy Checkout Improv Show podcast, which you can get from everywhere. It comes out every Friday, and it's me, Nat, Chris, and also Phil, Mandy, and Tom. 4 of us at a time, playing fun games, some long, some short, all made up on the spot, as I'm sure you'll be able to tell if you listen to it.
Okay, we've got big team all same viewers that have nightmares. Very important.
Nice.
You too. Have a
lovely week, Anna. Yeah.
Right. Other than that, what can we say? Tomorrow night I've got my soundtrack show. What's the score on Box Office Radio? 8 o'clock. I've got a mixed bag this week. Then next week I think I'm going to do my John Candy special.
You've wanted that for a while.
Fucking meant that then.
You did.
You did.
I never do that. But I will do it for John Candy.
I mean, I've never seen you do it before, and it was a bit weird.
I've never done that before ever. It felt strange, but I'm glad I did it.
Good.
It looked totally natural, man. It looked. Yeah.
We're all learning tonight.
I felt it.
Pulling him down, going, come in with me, John. Let's get your music on. So that'll be music from the films of John Candy. Anyway, next week we'll be back here. I don't know what movie it is yet. I don't know who the guest is because I've been a bit slack this week. We'll get somebody on there, I'm sure. Next Monday, 8 o'clock on back here on Prequel, Sequel, Requel. We'll see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate you joining me.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to Webb for coming on again.
Thank you, David.
And thanks everybody else. We'll see you all later. Thanks so much for watching.
Love you.
Again.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.